What's up, guys? This is Rise bringing you some more Go Battle League action, and today I'm going to be showcasing a 5-0 set I had in the Ultra League utilizing Snorlax as a safe switch. It's a very effective tactic if you're trying to win games in Go Battle League that you have to understand if you want to be one of the very best. And I'm going to show you how it was really effective to use Snorlax as a safe swap in some of these matches. In this opening matchup, our opponent had some spice with Alolan Sandslash as their lead. They swap out in Cresselia, so we're going to combat it with our Alolan Muck. But one of the keys with this team of Armored Mewtwo, Alolan Muck, and Snorlax is we have double Cresselia counters in the back. Snorlax can beat Cresselia because that lick damage adds up, and of course Alolan Muck hits for super effective with those dark pulses. So what you're gonna see in some of these matchups is if we draw a bad lead, let's say Mewtwo versus Cresselia, we might switch into Snorlax, which has a good matchup, and Snorlax can hold its own against almost anything. There's gonna be some fighters, of course, that will beat it pretty handedly, but most of the fighters are pretty glassy, and if you get off a body slam, you might draw a shield. So there's not going to be a whole lot of things that are just going to like totally hard counter Snorlax in the Ultra League, which is why it makes such an effective safe swap. But back to this battle, we have switch advantage, so we're in a good position here. Mewtwo versus Swampert. We have to be careful of an Earthquake because that would take out about half health. But they're just going for Hydro Cannon. We're going to shield because we know we can get to a Psy Strike before they take us out. But they switch, and we were expecting the switch, so we timed it beautifully, and this way our Mewtwo with energy stays alive. Earthquake is what we're going to build up for. Because of that steel typing on Alolan Sandslash, Earthquake will one-shot it versus Body Slam would be resisted. We get to the Earthquake, which is great. Earthquake's such a hard-hitting move, and it's definitely enough to take out the Alolan Sandslash. Swampert's gonna hit us with a Hydro Cannon, but I think we're still gonna survive, and yeah, we barely get to the Body Slam, which is great for us. Get to that Body Slam, and then we take game one, so GG's in game number one. Ultra League has been okay for me. Yesterday, or I was actually early today, technically, I was experimenting with some crazy lineups. I kind of wanted to showcase like an all-starter team. I tried using some crazy Pokemon like Gardevoir, a Charmer, and I really tanked my score. But I'm having fun with it. And when I use a kind of meta line like this one, I'm able to win most matchups. But I get bored of using the same line. I like to mix it up with more exciting lineups. Let me know if you're like that down below. If you like just sticking to your core meta group that'll win you more games, or you like experimenting with others. I just get bored if I use the same lineup. But we're in a good matchup here, Mewtwo versus Swampert. We're either gonna come out of this with switch advantage or a shield advantage usually. So we go for the Psy Strike. Let's see if we draw a shield. We do. So they use both shields in order to take out Mewtwo, which is fine. We're going to come in with Snorlax because we don't want to get hit by an Earthquake. That would pretty much one-shot our Alolan Muck because ground is super effective against poison. Snorlax can take a Hydro Cannon pretty easily. That was close to letting Swampert get to another Hydro Cannon, but we're not going to take any risks. We're just going to get to the Body Slam, take it out. And now what will they bring in? A Muck. Okay. So they have shield her down, and I can go for this Earthquake. Hopefully they don't make a beautiful sack swap, but they do make a beautiful sack swap. So we are not in a great position. But let's see if we can still recover from this, because we do still have a shield advantage, and luckily our Alolan Muck can get to this Gunk Shot, which will one-shot the Togekiss. So it's gonna be a close. Can we recover from them making that amazing play and absorbing the Earthquake with their Togekiss? We're gonna try and go straight Gunk Shot here because it'll do significantly more damage than a Dark Pulse. I decide to shield this because I'm not sure my Snorlax can even get to a charge move, and I assumed they would go for the more hard-hitting move as I have a lot of health. I knew they would beat me to a Sludge Wave, so I just go straight for the Dark Pulse. Sludge Wave will knock us out, and we can come in and barely lick down with Snorlax. So very close matchup there, but we're able to take it. And that's why you never got to give up in these matches. They had an incredible move, timing that Earthquake and absorbing it with their Togekiss, a flying type. But we were able to hang in there and still come out with the win. Once again, we see another Swampert. So Swampert, it's like a slightly favorable lead for Mewtwo, because Swampert's going to outpace us to charge moves by a lot, because Confusion is so slow and Mud Shot charges up energy so fast. But these Size Strikes are going to do a lot of damage if they go unshielded, and Confusion damage will also add up versus their Mud Shot damage isn't going to do very much at all. They go for a Hydro Cannon after landing the Earthquake. Go straight for Size Strike. It's really important not to over-tap on Confusion because that can really cost you, and it has costed me on occasion. And I swapped immediately because I thought they were going to get off a Hydro Cannon. But that might have actually costed me. Do I commit a shield? I do, and it's a Focus Blast, so a good use of a shield. We're just going to go straight Earthquake, because to me, Body Slam is too risky to bait in this situation. You're essentially just wasting energy if it goes unshielded. So we land the Earthquake, which is huge. We're going to double shield, and it's another Focus Blast, so this is great. Do I try and lick down? We're able to lick down. So now we're in a great position. We still have our Snorlax with a ton of health and energy, and we have our Alolan Muck in back. I decide to swap in, which was kind of risky because this is going to be really close. The Granbull getting to a close combat, but we're able to get to this Gunk Shot, and Gunk Shot will one-shot. How about we should make that like a hashtag or something? Gunk Shot, one shot in the comments. Let me know down below. But yeah, Gunk Shot is such a fun move to use, especially against the fairy types. It does an overwhelming amount of damage. It's kind of like the Poison Hyper Beam. We draw a Togekiss lead, which is actually a favorable lead for Mewtwo, because we will outpace it to charge moves, and our charge moves will do very heavy hitting damage. Let's see if they shield. They do. And we get to another Size Strike already. So they're either going to have to commit both shields or let it go. They let it go, so we win switch advantage. And I knew I could get to a Size Strike, so I did stay in rather than swapping out. If they were going to farm me down before I could get to a charge move, I would have swapped out. And I go into Snorlax here because I think they might swap out, and they do. And they go into Blaziken. Okay. So I actually stay in here with Snorlax because Snorlax, this lick damage will add up, and they are actually running, I think, Fire Spin on their Blaziken and not counter. So Snorlax is only taking neutral damage rather than super effective damage, and Snorlax actually beats Blaziken because they're running Fire Spin. And now we're in a great situation where we still have our Alolan Muck in back, and Alolan Muck can come in here and just clean up with 2 shields. So sometimes you want to you really want to think ahead. I think even if I came in with Alolan Muck in that situation, we would have been fine, because they would have swapped out into Blaziken, and I probably would have taken me a second to recognize they weren't running counter, and then I would have switched to Snorlax. But like, let's say hypothetically they were running I don't know, Swampert in the back. Because I came in with Snorlax and then they switch into Swampert, I would be able to just stay in with Snorlax and then keep my alignment with the Alolan Muck and the Giratina as well. So here is the perfect example of Snorlax as a safe swap, where we draw a not favorable lead against Giratina. So we go into our soft counter Snorlax against Giratina, and because Snorlax is so versatile and it can match up against so many things, we land an Earthquake on the Registeel. I don't shield the Focus Blast, which I probably should have, and then this is probably a mistake because Body Slam isn't gonna KO and they're gonna get to a charge move. Do I decide to commit a shield? I do, and this way I can retain switch advantage because I don't want Mewtwo lined up with the Giratina because that's not a favorable matchup for Mewtwo. Now we see a Granbull, which is interesting. They shield up the Body Slam. Good for us that we got rid of a shield. We're gonna come into Mewtwo, and that way we can align up our Alolan Muck with the Giratina. They're going for what I assume is a Crunch. It is a Crunch, which would do quite a bit of damage. We overfarmed a bit. Are they gonna commit a shield here? They are not. Okay. And I make a nice swap into my Alolan Muck to catch what is a Shadow Sneak. That would have done super effective against Mewtwo. So a nice play there. And this game is pretty much over because Muck is going to do a lot of damage with these Dark Pulses. And even though I have a shield advantage, we still have our Mewtwo in the back. Giratina will outpace us to charge moves, so it will be somewhat close. But we do kind of have it in the bag. We're going to get to this Dark Pulse, and then we're probably going to switch out into Mewtwo, and that way we force Giratina to use its energy. We're actually able to catch a Dragon Claw, which is even better. And just a couple of confusions should be enough to take out Giratina, and we win another one. So that is the set, I believe. Or do we have one more game? Nope. 5 for 5. So I hope you guys were able to take something from this set. I like using this team. This is kind of my go-to team right now of Armored Mewtwo, Alolan Muck, and Snorlax. Snorlax as a safe swap is amazing. I've used it in other sets where you're able to see it more, where it's Mewtwo versus Cresselia. I swap into Snorlax, they swap into something else, and I can actually win that matchup by maybe using an extra shield, or sometimes not even have to, because if you swap into Snorlax and then they swap into something, your Snorlax is going to have an energy advantage, which allows it to be like Swampert if it has an energy advantage. And then that allows me to match up the Muck later on with Cresselia. So that's how you can kind of flip bad leads, is having a safe swap like a Snorlax. Some other good safe swaps are probably like Escavalier. So try and have a safe swap in your team and see how it works for you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. We're nearing in on 1,000 subs. We have about 900 at the time I'm making this video today. So if we can get to 1,000 subs by the weekend, like, that would be amazing. I really appreciate the support thus far. I'm having fun making these videos. So without further ado, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.